everyone. Welcome to the Yarn and You Girl podcast. I'm Janine, also known as Yarn and You Girl, and this is my podcast where I talk to you guys about all the things crafty that I am doing. I'm coming to you from my home in Vancouver, Washington, where I live with my husband and my two boys and our dog and cat, and have the standard American life. Thank you so much for visiting with me. I hope that you enjoy the podcast. It's mostly about knitting. Sometimes I will throw some crochet in there or some cross stitch, maybe some sewing. It just depends on what is grabbing me at the moment. Most of the time there is knitting content, and lately there's been a lot of design content as well, which is kind of exciting because I feel like there's been lots of creative juices happening, and maybe it's the change that's happening in the house here. As you guys can see, this is hopefully you can tell this is a little bit different of a space for me. This is going to be my yarn office or room or whatever you want to call it, and we're having some built-ins done here. These will have cabinet doors on them, and then going up to the ceiling we'll have bookcases that are kind of recessed a little bit. I'm waiting though because the boxes got in the day after Thanksgiving, the boxes on the bottom here, and the contractors are waiting for a dark piece of wood that's going to sit on top of the counter as like an accent piece. It'll be kind of like that color of dark wood, and then the rest of the cabinet will be painted like a creamy color to match the trim around the house. But that piece, that one long piece, has been on back order, or they haven't gotten it to them for whatever reason, and so we're kind of in a stalling mode. I am a little, it's very bare in here, obviously. I have not put anything up because we still have construction that's going to be happening. I actually tacked a sheet a little bit over the window because I don't even have blinds on these windows yet. They give for great natural light. It's actually the same room positioning as the last room that I was in, but it just doesn't have any shades. I've never put any shades up. I'm lazy like that and do things a little bit at a time. So I just tacked a sheet up for today, and that's something that my husband and I are going to go out and get, is a couple blinds to cover these. They're kind of long, skinny windows. That way I can open up the windows for light if I want, but then I can also have some privacy, and all of my yarn and wares will not be exposed to the window, lighting, or random people who want to come by and steal the yarn, because that's so cool. Anyway, so it is Monday, December 3rd, and we are in December, and it is just baffling to me how quickly time this year has gone. I was working over the weekend, and having to write 12 instead of 11 for the date threw me off so much. But we're here, we're in December, we're almost in that home stretch of the year, and I hope all of your crafting adventures are going well, especially this time of the year when we're trying to finish up all the gifts and do all the things for everyone else. And most people aren't really thinking about knitting for themselves or making for themselves. They're making for others. Of course, except me, because I'm always making for myself. I don't know if I'm making anything for people this year, except I might throw in, I have all those tubes that I knit, or I cranked, I should say, on the sock knitting machine, last February or whenever that was. And I think I'm going to put in, heels and toes and cuffs, and maybe, give a couple of those away as gifts. So that would be something that I might be doing. But other than that, I'm going to be kind of a selfish knitter. That's just the way it is. I'm going to buy most of my gifts. Most of the family has had, something handmade from me. And occasionally I'll get the bug and do something else. But we'll see. So with the remodel and everything, I told you guys last time we spoke, I was talking about my son and getting him into the small room that I was in before. And that happened. We painted his room. We were going to contract somebody to do the painting, but we decided to do it ourselves. And we had a little bit of an adventure with that. I bought a nice dark gray paint because the room is really big and pretty bright, and it could handle like a darker color, and he wanted a dark color, so we picked this nice like smoky gray. Looks really great in there. And we were getting set up that morning this was actually last weekend, we were getting set up, or not the first and the second, but the weekend right after Thanksgiving. We're getting set up to paint and had the drop cloth down just like along one edge, and there were 2 cans of paint, and my husband starts shaking one of them, and Dylan, my 10-year-old, wanted to be helpful and started shaking the other one, but he got like so excited with the shaking that it flew out of his hands, fell on the floor, and it dented, and when it dented, the lid popped off, and dark gray paint spilled all over my carpet. All over the carpet, and about 1/4 of a gallon of paint was just like sitting there on the carpet, and some of it got under the drop cloth, not on the drop cloth, of course, because, you know, that would have been really helpful. It was crazy. I am so surprised I didn't flip out, because I really wanted to, but I'm actually kind of proud of myself that I held it in and got it under control. And my husband's like, well, I guess we'll need new carpet. And we do need new carpet, but we don't need to be spending the money on new carpet right now. So I was like, no way, we're not getting new carpet right now, which is kind of odd for me. I'm usually the one who's like, yeah, sure, let's get new carpet. I was not going to live, though, with a big gray stain on that carpet for however long it took us to get new carpet. So I was like, I had Jordan and Dylan like, go get me a bunch of rags, and I ordered them to go do that, and they grabbed a bunch of towels and stuff, and we sopped up as much of it as we could. But it was probably a 2-foot like area that was covered in gray paint. So we sopped up as much as we could, and then I had them go get me the mop bucket and some rags, and I wanted them to try to keep it as wet as possible while still trying to pull up as much of the paint as they could. I didn't want the paint to dry. I was like really freaked out that if it dried, you know, then I'd never be able to get it up, because my dad had fallen off a ladder one point while he was painting and spilled the paint, and he hit his head, and when he hit his head, like, he passed out for, you know, a couple minutes, and the paint, they had to take him to the emergency room, so the paint dried, and then they had this horrible like stain on their carpet for a really long time. So I was like, that is not going to happen to us. So I got them, like, started sopping things up as much as possible, and oh my gosh, you guys, it was a huge mess. And then we have one of those Bissell, like, spot bots that we use for cleaning up, like, animal messes or stains. And so I went and got that, and I used the hose attachment, and I spent the next, like, 3 hours sucking up paint into the Bissell, and like with the cleaner, and then like cleaning it again, and then sucking up some more, and I pretty much got it all out. I was so excited. Maybe there's like a small little bit of gray that you can see in some lights, but I was really pleased with how it turned out, and very excited that I didn't have this huge giant stain on the carpet. And I know it wasn't Dylan's fault. It was probably more Matt's fault that he let Dylan shake the can, but you know, it happens, and I was really excited that I didn't freak out. I could have really lost my marbles and just like blown my top, but I didn't. I was able to get it up, and those little spot bots are amazing. I could not have done it. I wouldn't have been able to get all that up without some kind of a carpet cleaner. And it was, you know, Saturday morning early, And, you know, we weren't running to the store or anything. And what emergency carpet cleaning service would I have been able to call upon? I don't know. So it helped quite a bit, and I'm glad that got taken care of. And the rest of the painting went on fine. My hands, though, from using that hose and pulling back and suctioning for that long of a time period, they were so cramped that I couldn't knit the entire day. I couldn't do any kind of crafting. It was really, really hard on my hands. So I did suffer in that way, but no more gray paint stain on the carpet, thankfully. But yeah, that's what's happening in the world of Janine. And hopefully the next time you guys see me, this room might have a little bit more to show for it. This will be my space though, so I'm very excited. My husband's gonna build, like a table island type thing for the center. I should have lots and lots of storage, so all the yarn can go in all the cool places and that they need to go, that it needs to go, and I will have a nice office, so that will be fun. Anyway, I guess we should just move on to knitting things, because that's probably why you're here and not to listen to my home improvement stories. I'm actually drinking this morning some cranberry apple spice Spark. So I drink Spark, it's like a energy drink. This one is a holiday special, I think, and they have they suggested to do it hot. So I, heated up some water, poured it over the Spark, and it makes this really nice smelly apple cranberry spice, like cider almost. It's so good. And then I get my caffeine, because I need my caffeine. Anyway, I've got some finished objects, which is kind of pretty cool. They're, I have hardly had finished objects, so I feel pretty good about these. So the first one is my hat that I've been working on, my design hat. And I've got a post up on Instagram right now to help name it. It is, I just don't have a name coming to me right now. So I've got lots of good name suggestions on there. If you want to put your name suggestion in, head on over to my Instagram account, which is @yarnandew, and check my photos. There's one with the hat. It's a blue, the lighter blue version. And there's a post asking for name suggestions. I'm going to be picking a winner from that post. Actually, two winners. So one, the person who gives me the name suggestion that I like the best will get a copy of the pattern when it's released. And then I'm going to do a random number generator and pick a winner from those comments as well. And that way, if I don't pick your name, you'll get a chance to win a copy of the pattern. Also, the pattern is being tested right now. It is currently... I asked my testers to be done by December 10th, so it should be by next Monday that I have all my testers done, and then I should have the pattern released shortly thereafter. Oh, and speaking of pattern releases, I can't even believe I forgot. My Cooper Spur pullover, the one that people had been testing and that I finished up those last couple months, basically, is published now and available on Ravelry. It is the Cooper Spur pullover, and it is available right now for 20% off for this first week, so basically through next Monday, December 10th. And you don't need a coupon code or anything like that, so go over there if you're interested in making the sweater and get your discounted price. And that's going on now through, like I said, December 10th. And I'm very excited about that. I'm glad to have that one published and ready to go. So this one is my blue version of my hat. And this one I put a pom-pom on. This is the hat that I don't have a name for yet. But it's a nice slouchy hat that has this really pretty cable and lace like pattern. Oh shoot, I thought I turned that off. Sorry guys. I thought let me just turn off my, it's connected to my speaker because I was listening to my audiobook, and then it's making weird noises in the background. So anyway, this is, yeah, my no-name hat right now. So looking for a name. If you have name suggestions, I would love to hear them. It is a slouchy hat. I'll put it on here. Let's see. It's just a really nice fitted. It uses DK weight yarn. It's not super tight. Goes very fast. It's perfect for holiday knitting, Christmas gifts. I know it's not coming out until, you know, another week or so, but I got these done in like 2 days maybe. They're very, very quick. So this one is done in Knitted Wit, the Victory DK, in the blue colorway. And I pretty much used one full skein, and then most of the leftover skein I used to make like this big pom-pom, because I wanted a big pom-pom on it. The other one I still haven't put a pom-pom on, but I went and officially like took photos of my other one as well. The other one I did in Yarn and Use Pop DK in the Gumdrop Mountain colorway. So this one though is Knitted Wit. Oh, strange coloring happening right there. Maybe it's the blue contrast, I'm not sure. Probably the blue. So that's that one. Very excited. If you guys are interested in that, that should be coming out soon, and I'll let you guys know all the details about that when it does happen. And then, so that's one finished object. I think the last time you guys saw it, I might have been like right here, starting the decrease chart. So yeah, I think it turned out really well. I got all the decreases taken care of, and everything was, you know, worked out okay as far as so far with my testers. Nobody's, there was one little, you know, blip, and I fixed that, and the rest of it is good. So the next finished object I have is a pair of socks. I don't think I've finished a pair of socks now for probably, oh, what is happening there? Probably about 6 months. I'm really bad with socks, but I got the bug, and this pattern kind of like just jumped right off the needle. So I cannot find my sock blockers because of course, like, I wouldn't be able to find them. But this is the foot part of the sock, and the sock is going to be called string section, and because it reminded me of a stringed instrument with the raised ribbing right here, and then the curves that kind of happen with the sock. So that's the foot, and then on the leg of the sock it's the exact same, but you have some bobbles on the leg of the sock, like up here, which also reminded me a little bit of like the tuning pins at the end there. So it is definitely an intricate lace cabled sock. I used Plucky Knitter Primo fingering. This is the Waders colorway. It is, I'm not sure how well that's showing up with the coloring and the lighting in here. And then I just did a traditional heel flap and gusset, so they're neck cuff down. And then you work the leg, do the heel flap and gusset, and then you move on to the foot. And the foot just doesn't have the bobbles, so you don't have that extra dimension there to mess with you in your shoes. So I have two matchy ones. These ones are being test knit right now. I could use a couple more testers for these. They're definitely not potato chip knitting. They are charted and written instructions. They require, it's not like a super memorizable pattern either. I mean, because the chart changes and the chart itself is relatively long, but it goes very quickly, and to me it seemed really intuitive. And I got these socks done in like a week and a half, so really fast. If you are interested in testing these, reach out to me please, either here on YouTube or over on Instagram, which is at Yarn and You, and I will get you the information that you need to get started on these. I'm hoping that they could be done, or all my testers be done by December 31st, so give you through the holiday, because I would like to get these published for the new year. So that is Plucky Knitter Primo Fingering, the Waders colorway, which is their Primo Fingering is a 75 superwash merino, 20% nylon, or sorry, 20% cashmere, 5% nylon sock. And they're very soft. It has like a higher twist to it. I've liked my other socks that I've done in the Primo Fingering, so their stitch definition's really, really nice. So a pair of socks, woo! So exciting. I never have socks. But I think these gave me my sock mojo back because I've been working on trying to finish up a pair of socks that have been on the needles forever. And so I've got some of that. And then, you know, it's just kind of helped me to sort of break out of that funk that I was having with my socks. So those are my finished objects, just the hat and the pair of socks, and everything's very blue themed today. I like blue. I feel like I was looking at my stash and I have a lot, or at my actual handmade socks, and my handmade socks are all like purple or blue, and then I have a few random ones that are just like funky different colors, but most of them, the majority of them, are in these blues and purples, because when I go to wash them, I have a lot more pairs of those that I can wash together and not have to worry about bleeding or anything. So let's go on to more socks. The other pair of socks, this is a work in progress. You guys have seen these. I showed them last time, but I made a little bit more progress on them. They are my Christmas socks or Christmas Eve cast on socks from last year that Little Bobbins Knits, I think, does the Christmas Eve cast on. And I thought, oh, I'll participate in that. And yeah, that didn't happen. I mean, I participated. I got like part of the sock done, but I'm never good enough to, like, I'm never fast enough to get them done for the knit alongs or anything like that. So it's a miracle that I even get any of it done. So these are the January Thermal socks. They are a Knit Picks Toasty Toes collection. I think I put the link last episode for where you can find them. If you bought the whole, if you wanted the whole collection in like an ebook, you have to buy it. But you can individually download the patterns for free. So I went through and I individually downloaded all 12 months and, you know, got a bunch of free sock patterns without having to buy it as a single book. But they're all knit toe up, and they use like a different kind of toe. I just used Judy's Magic Cast On or something like that, and then I followed the pattern instructions here. These are a little slow going. There's a cable in there, and then this textured area on the side. It's interesting. You do like a knit in the front and the back for one row, like each of the stitches for one row, and then on the next row you do like a purl through the back, purl two together through the back loop, and then a knit two together, and then a purl two together through the back loop. So that purl two together through the back loop like twists it, but it's a super time-consuming stitch. There's no, you know, just mindless knit row in between or anything like that. So it's been taking me a little bit longer, but I do like the squishy feel of the socks, and I think that the fit's going to be great. These are, the yarn I'm using is Thoroughly Thwacked, which I don't think she is called that anymore. I really don't know what her new yarn name is, but it's on a sparkle base. It is called Wicked. I bought this at the Columbia Gorge Fiber Festival like some years ago, and I thought they'd be really great for Christmas because they've just got really great Christmassy colors, and then with the sparkle in there, it's like tinsel. I liked them so much. So the last time you guys saw me, I was like right here. I'd turned the heel and I'd maybe done like a little bit. Well, I started doing the patterning now on the front and the back of the sock. So there's the back of the sock and then the front. And I'm hoping to get a little bit more length on these. I would like them. I don't really like shorty socks, so I would like them to be significantly longer than they are now, but it's pretty time consuming. So I'm just working on them slowly. When I'm not doing, I've been doing so much new design stuff that this is actually somewhat mindless for me because I don't have to think about, okay, well, what should I put here next and what should I do? But it is a time consuming pattern, but I'm hoping I like the finished result a lot. So, and I think I'm knitting these on a US 0 or a 2mm needle. Yeah. Which I go back and forth between 0s and 1s. I think for patterned socks, I can use 1s a lot of times, but for like plain vanilla socks, 0s give me a better, tighter gauge, but I don't know, maybe something along those lines. So that's my sock collection that I'm working on. Like I said, I'm really trying hard to finish those. I have done a little bit on my Guthrie sweater. So this is, let me make sure where I am. Guthrie by Caitlin Hunter. I am doing it in this olive oil colorway. This is the Farmer's Daughter Craggy Tweed. It is the olive oil colorway. I love this. I'm not sure it's really my color, but I really do love the color. So, and then the contrasting color I'm using, this is my, oh, and it's washing out really bad. It is Yarn and Use Pop DK, the Mother May I color. It's very beautiful, lovely, light pinky purple with speckles of pinks and purples and blues in there, and they go really nicely together. There's enough contrast that you can really see the patterning. I have done maybe an inch, couple inches since you guys saw it last, so let me see if I can show you. My color work is a little tight, even though I try really hard to be loose. It has that wonky look to it, you know, but I'm hoping with blocking it will come out okay. So this is what I have so far. I've split for the underarm, and I've done like the first section of the body. Uh-oh, I think UPS is here, and I know I'm gonna get, my dog's gonna bark really, really bad. So, yeah, be prepared for the barking. I'll probably pause it here just in case. Okay, yep, I'm gonna pause it, hang on. Okay, back, sorry. I got him to calm down. He usually freaks out and, you know, barks like crazy at anybody who walks by the house or comes to the door. So he's super friendly though. He would never ever hurt anyone. He's just, you know, one of those dogs who likes to tell you that he is here. So let's see. So this is the Guthrie. I'm also hoping that it actually fits. I don't have very long needles to put it on, so trying it on is kind of hard. I'm thinking I'll put it on some waste yarn here in a little bit and make sure, but I know it will block out. I know it will stretch quite a bit, and I know, like, I did my color work loose enough. I know that, and I'm trapping the floats, trying to trap the floats quite frequently so it has more give, but we'll have to see. So anyway, I've done this bottom, this section here, which is the first part of the body chart, and I have a bit more of the body chart to go, obviously. So it's coming along though, and I really like it. I really think it's beautiful. It is a little slow because it's all color work, but I am kind of excited about having that one done. So that is the Guthrie by Caitlin Hunter. She comes out with such beautiful stuff. Let's see, what else do I have to show you guys? Oh yeah, I started working on that shawl that I put in timeout for a while, the one that was the design that ended up like the giant wrap. I started working on it again, so let me show you where I am with that. So this is in my Nanette Wake Studio bag that I got when we went to Fiber Fusion. And I am using, this is Yarn and You on the alternative sock base. It's this gray color I don't think I have a name for. And then Bonkers, which is, let's see if I can, oh, you cannot even see, but it's speckled, maybe there, orange and pink and black and blue, and it's really, really fun, speckly, and that one's called Bonkers. And I used the Hubba Bubba for the braided edge. So you guys had seen the braided edge, but I just picked up for the brioche garter section and have started doing that. And I'm trying to make it so that it doesn't come out as gigantic as it did before. Sorry, let me get those. Because it was too big, I thought, for a shawl. So I'm going to be not doing as many of the brioche leaf pattern. I'm going to probably do, I was thinking maybe 9. And then I'm also, another change I'm making is I'm decreasing on every light side, or every light color row. So right side and wrong side. And then so my decreases will be a little more dramatic over here, which will help, I think, compensate for the additional stitches that I'm adding over here, hopefully. So yeah, that's how far I've gotten. I'm basically rewriting the pattern too, because the last one, I had 2 leaves to start with down here, and I didn't like that. I thought it wasn't as neat looking, so I just wanted to start with 1 leaf down here and then have it grow by 1 leaf each time. So that is a syncopated brioche technique that's happening there, and I'm excited. I really like the look of this one. I think it will be pretty. I think that hot pink, which is kind of washing out a bit, it makes a really nice contrast for the edging. I'm not sure if you can see the leaf design on the edge there, and then the garter, and then the brioche portion. So I've just started working on this. Again, it's relatively one of those easier things for me to work on. It's just that I have to be writing down, you know, each row as I go to make sure that I get it transcribed correctly when I actually write up the pattern. So that is going to be, the shawl will be called The End is Just the Beginning, or The End is Only the Beginning, something like that. And I will probably be needing testers relatively soon. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping I don't run out of yarn and have to dye a bunch more, because I was really wanting it to be manageable with like 2 skeins. That is most of what I've been working on lately. Like I said, I've been working a lot more, so my time is a little more limited. I did want to show you guys this stuff though that I got. So one of my coworkers, she had all this, I think it was from her grandmother, and she gave me these 2 boxes of yarn that they were still in the manufacturer boxes that they came from, or that they shipped from, and I think they're French. I have no idea. So one of them, I have 10 skeins of each though, so it's, I'm trying to see if there's a brand. Papotage. I think these are super old too, guys. Like, so old they may not even exist anymore. Papotage. What does it say? Yeah, everything is in French, I believe. The needle size. It looks like it might be a 92% wool, 8% nylon. And these are, yeah, 50 grams, made in France. So I have 10 of these. It doesn't tell me. yardage. And it does not tell me the size. It says, I believe this is the needle size here. I think that's what that word means in French. It's like aiguilles. So I think that's like the needle size. It says 3.5 to 4, so 3.5 to 4 millimeters, probably like a 4 to 5, 4 to 6 maybe. So I'm thinking it's like a DK. Not sure. Maybe. But I've got 10 of these, and it's like this boucle black. Not the most like soft yarn, but I mean, I was thinking of making like a cool like cardigan like oversized cardigan, like cozy sweater out of this. But then she not only gave me 10 skeins of this, she gave me 10 skeins of this mohair, which is like straight mohair, I think, not mohair silk. It's, again, not super duper soft. It's this hot pink though. And this is Bernard Ullman Company, it looks like, or Bear, what does it say? Bear Brand? Yeah, Bear Brand. Again, probably super old. These look like they were maybe $1 a piece or something like that. And she got them, at someplace Grays, Reed, and Reno. But again, they had this like whole old box that they came in. There's 10 skeins of these. No, there's more. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 skeins of this hot pink mohair. I don't even know what I'm gonna do with all this, but it's crazy how much I have. So I was actually thinking of doing combining the two and making, like I said, like an oversized raglan cardigan. So I did a little swatch, and I really liked how that came out. So this one is on my size like 11s, and I think I'd want my gauge to be just a little bit denser than this. So I might go down to 10s and do another swatch. But that would be a really fun oversized sweater. So I want to use it. I'll probably have a ton left over, but we'll find out. And it's actually, once it's washed, it's not so bad. I don't think I could wear it around my neck for a very long period of time. I might get a little itchy. But as a pullover or as a cardigan, which I'm not sure I'm into cardigans that much, but I could do like a big oversized raglan as well. That would be kind of fun. So I swatched it up. I soaked it and blocked it out to just kind of see what we're looking at here. And I like the fabric that it gave. It's really fun. It has that halo from the mohair. Yeah, but so random. Never even heard of any of this stuff. And there's like this mohair says they're 40 grams. Again, I have no idea what the yardage is, but it's a lace weight for sure, you know. So yeah, I might be coming up with some kind of sweater to make out of all of this stuff. And then maybe whatever I have left over, if anybody wants any of it, I might be willing to, you know, share it with others, because honestly, this is like so much. I don't even know what I'm going to do. Or I could make probably 3 sweaters out of all this mohair for sure. Anyway, so that is what I have as far as like acquisitions and stuff. It's not, what does it say? It says Supra mohair. I don't know what kind, like if that's anything special, but kind of exciting, kind of fun. And she gave me these like a long time ago, and I've been meaning to share with you guys all of that. they kind of sat in the closet for a while, but pretty exciting. We'll see what happens with it. I also wanted to share with you guys that I did get my advent calendar. I did not wait, and I opened it. I'm not going to share with you guys the colors because I know there are people who want to wait and want to open theirs on the day of the advent, but I am already percolating ideas for what to do with all of the little minis. And I was thinking of like knee-high socks. I was kind of thinking of like the fluorite, how the fluorite ones are, but I don't need to buy that pattern. It's just like a faded sock, basically. I can figure that out on my own. But I was thinking if I do knee highs, I might want to do some ribbing or something to kind of keep it tight so that they don't slouch down. If anybody has a favorite knee-high sock pattern that they like, I would love to hear about it. Because like I said, I'm thinking of one. There's this one that I found on Ravelry for free that is a stripey one that, let me see, I downloaded it, so let me see where I put it. It's called Surprise Stripes. It's free on Ravelry. It's by Anna Johanna. I think they're knitted toe up. Let me see if I can show you guys a picture of these. I'm not sure how, that's not going to show very well. They do have a ribbing, you know, above the calf. I'm not sure how well those will work out, but I have so much yardage, really. Those little minis, I only got half of the advent. And the minis are 20-gram minis. They have 90 yards per gram. So that's like almost 2,000 yards. Definitely enough for knee-high pair of socks. The other thing I was thinking was even doing like a faded t-shirt, kind of like the So Faded, but I would change it a little bit. I was thinking something along those lines. I was also thinking of just doing a seed stitch wrap with it, and I had kind of started that a little bit, but I'm not sure I want to do that. So anyway, I'll show you guys though next time, because it'll probably be after Christmas that I podcast next. So anyway, that's the thoughts. If you have suggestions for the Advent minis and what to do with them, I know there's quite a bit of stuff I've been seeing. I know Helen Stewart has something that she's done. I know that Yarn Cafe Creations, she's doing like a mini sock Advent knit, like surprise mystery little sock ornaments. That seemed like a cool idea, but I know I would never knit like a bunch of billion little socks. That's not me. I can't do that stuff. So, I mean, I can, but I lose interest. So, but there's those, like I said, I was thinking just doing like a t-shirt, like using that 70s t-shirt and pattern and, you know, striping it up a little bit more. We'll see. I'll come up with something though, and I'll share it with you guys next time. I'm thinking though the knee-high socks might be cool. This is how I got my sock mojo back, so I'm not sure though I can commit to that much sock. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, guys, thank you so much for watching. That is all I have today. Thanks for bearing with me in my new space, and happy making. I will see you all next time. Have a good one.